Hello. Hello. Wow. If I ever wasn't ready for a live stream, it's now. Not only I was contemplating it, I'd actually made the decision, that's it, I'm not going to make the live stream today, I'm going to sleep. It's been so difficult to do anything today. It's been like swimming through Marmite, Vegemite for other parts of the world. And I haven't made a lot of live streams at night time. In the past, since I've been at this flat, because the walls are really thin and I'm conscious I don't want to disturb my neighbours, but I've got a new microphone that I listened back yesterday's playstream. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But I've got this new microphone and I've turned it down, I've adjusted it, and I'm hoping that I don't have to speak so loud and the live stream's okay. So you've caught me at a different time of the day at the moment. I've eaten. I wouldn't have eaten. That's a big thing for me. I really feel my food. I really feel it passing through me, sort of thing. Not like straight through me, but digesting it, taking it in, enjoying it, processing it, what it does to someone, the fight the body goes through to digest it. So yeah, where do we pick up? Basically, you might have to watch a few of these, number of these days to get the gist of what I'm trying to say, because I attempted yesterday and it didn't come out as I wanted. But there's total free space on these videos. There's total free space first, and nothing is right, nothing is wrong. So if it takes me a week to get the rules out, it takes me a week to get the rules out, and the significance of what we're doing. And yeah, so I watched back yesterday's video. I went to do it last night actually, and then I remembered the importance of watching it back is that you watch it back after you have a sleep. So when you sleep, you wake up. At some point before you make the live stream, you watch the video then, not the night before, not straight after you make it. That's important. And I watched it back today, and it was really hard to watch, because this is really important to me. Spirituality is really important to me, and I said, right, I'm going to become that spiritual master. And it's like, you're not a spiritual master, Gabriel. Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding, man? Look at you. You can't make sense. You don't make sense. I know your mind. I know exactly what you're trying to do. I know how you're trying to communicate your message and what you mean and what you say. But I'm viewing this right now from the perspective of everybody. And from the perspective of everybody, you don't make sense. You don't make sense, Gabriel. And I gave myself a real hard time. And I felt a little bit depressed about it, a little bit down. I knew it wouldn't stop me. I knew what I had to do. I knew what I was going through. I knew why. And I just had to allow it. I got distracted at one point. I started going off in thought. I was doing something else on my phone. I just keep having to stop it, rewind what I missed, pick up exactly where my consciousness left off. But you wouldn't believe the life of this spiritual master. I was just saying to myself, yeah, I'll tell them on the live stream. I'll tell them on the live stream what I was just up to about 20 minutes ago. I was literally outside. I call it fighting for my life, but it's on the edges of what it means to be a physical body. The edges of what it means to be a physical body. And everything that goes within being a physical body, going through mass transformation in a short space of time. I'm pulling moves, walking up and down the street, clicking my body back into place. It used to be on a daily basis. It wasn't so it hasn't been so frequent of late. I haven't been going outside since it's got a bit colder as the weather's changed. But in the summer it was near enough every day. This part of my body are popping back in, this part I'm popping back in, and who's going to believe me? I'm telling you right now, the absolute truth. I'm performing superhuman, what would we call it, moves. I'm putting my body back together very, very slowly. And I'm having to structure my mind, free my mind of the limitations of movement, yet understand fundamental movement and what I understand is the human body. So that at the edge of those limits, I can free myself to new movement, and that new movement is the exact healing the body needs to go through. So I'm slowly unlocking my body piece by piece, and that's not normal in this world. I've had to go through some weird and wonderful conditioning to get to that stage, but all I'm doing is walking up and down the street like a drunk man, like I'm intoxicated, like I don't know what I'm doing. And it's sheer agony. It's like pain to the maximum that you can imagine pain, and then a little bit more. And then having to remain conscious, be honest about how the pain's affecting you, responding to the pain, and trying to figure out what the hell is going on to put your body in the next position. But who's going to believe me? But I'm the spiritual guru. I watched it back, and that's the message I took from it. I took authority and I said, I'm the spiritual guru. I claim that space within the system. Sorry. Actually, not sorry. I don't like to apologise for anything. I'll go into that one day. I'll make a live stream. For now, Gabriel just doesn't like to apologise. He is really empathetic and he means sorry, but the word sorry isn't appropriate. Just Gabriel's head. So, and that's Gabriel's head also. It's kind of broken from its mental health problems and the physical health problems, and being at somewhere beyond pain at the moment. But yes, I watched it back, and that's what I got from it. One way or another, I took charge of that space within me that could be filled by a spiritual guru. It's so big, spiritual sage master. And I said, that's me today. That's what I said yesterday. And I watched it back and I was criticising Gabriel. Oh, he's like this, he's like that, he's made a stutter, he's not making sense, who's going to listen to this? And then I went outside for my walk. I always feel better. It's like exercise, because it is exercise. It's extreme exercise. But all I'm doing is walking up and down the street with like a drunk man with a crutch and a smoke. But that's the spiritual master. That's what the spiritual master looks like. If I could, I'd walk up and down the street naked, screaming all day long. It'd be so healing for me. That's my head. It's totally messed up. But that's not possible. That's not the world. So I've got to come from walking up and down the road screaming naked because it's therapeutic, and meet the world where it's legal and appropriate. And that's what it looks like. A bit like a drunk man walking up and down the street with a crutch, smoking tobacco. I don't think this coffee's going away for the whole of this live stream, but we're making this live stream today. We're doing number 2 today. Forgive me if I don't get any rules or any explanation out today, and you have to watch this fool try to spit his words out whilst he's spitting spit out by coughing. So I'm the spiritual master time. Okay, let's see. Where and what as a spiritual master is going to come out of me in the coming minutes? Where and what is going to come out of me? Where and what is going to be shared? I take the role of more of an observer of the situation. I observe it happening. It's like I'm so confident of my spiritual guru-ness, I'm just sitting here watching it happen. That's the attitude. That's the attitude to take when you're rocking it. I'm just sitting here watching my spiritual guru-ness rock this. I've pressed autopilot mode on my Tesla spiritual guru, and I'm just sitting back and it's gone into autopilot mode. I've turned round and there's the spiritual guru rocking it, and I haven't said anything, but that's the attitude. Because it's all consciousness and unconsciousness. When we're aligned, we're basically connected with our unconscious, and it is that experience. It's like our unconscious is doing it and we're watching it, but it's us in full consciousness, more conscious than most of the time. But from another perspective, it's like I'm being lazy, just sitting and watching the situation happen. So you're just playing with the unconscious, because that's where the spiritual guru is hidden, and that's what we're bringing out. that's the nature of these live streams. We'll try and make it a little bit more adaptable, but we'll see where it goes. It's got a key functionality, and that is to reconnect to the physical body. Ironically, forget the spiritual guru. It's got a very good function of healing and therapy. I've chosen to use it as a time to be a spiritual guru, to be vulnerable to something, to be active for a desire that I have, to be real with life as much as possible, and that's what spirituality is. To care for myself. These messages are for me first, they're for everybody. I mean love to these messages because I mean love to me. And I mean love to me, and I mean love to everybody. I don't feel we've clicked, so the rules are we have to talk for a minimum of 15 minutes. If we've clicked with a message, if we've clicked with everybody, if we've clicked with ourselves, within the 15 minutes we can stop on 15 minutes. Otherwise we have to keep going until some sort of click happens, or about 2 hours when you can turn around and say no. 2 hours of solid filming is a click in itself. 2 hours of solid time is a click. So maximum of 2 hours if it doesn't click on that day. But once it clicks, we have to go for another 15 minutes before we're allowed to end live stream. And you can go on longer than 15 minutes, or those 15 minutes if you want. You have to watch it back the next day before you make the live stream again, after you've had a sleep. If you don't sleep, still do the same thing. It's fine. And or next time you have a sleep, you could make it then, so you could prolong the days. It's not essential. No, stick to the days. Stick to the days, I'm being told. I'm in a different place right now. It's a weird place. I feel like my consciousness is returning in weird and wonderful ways. It's like my memory's sparking of memories like from years ago, and the way I'm looking at the desk at the moment is reminding me of energies of the past, and I can't quite put my finger on where they come from, and there's a slight melancholiness to them. But they're clear, you know, they're focused. But to where I am at the moment in my life, the difference, the disparity is melancholy. So for me to get there, I've got to go through melancholy, but when I get there, it's not melancholy. It's just a difference from my perspective to there. God. And I'm going to allow myself to go off on tangents and not make sense until I make sense. And it's going to be hard to watch back again. And that's not really the point. It's just to be as real as possible on the live streams. If you could think of a better, weird and wonderful way to be as real as possible with yourself, with your life, with everything you desire, hope for, fear, all the pains, all the joys, to just communicate that to the fullest. But to be real, you know, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. There's strength in vulnerability. To be whole as well. whole, to be you, but not compartmentalized. We are whole. Yeah, I wanted to come with my green juice on this video. I wanted to say his super spiritual guru Gabriel, and he's a really good boy. He drinks green juice. He can't get his words out, but he drinks green juice, and he's a healthy boy. He smokes and drinks coffee, but he's a healthy boy, and he wanted to show off on this video. But unfortunately, Gabriel is also quite, how can we put it, mentally challenged. And what that means is, sometimes, all the time, most of the time, too much, just too often. It feels like Gabriel is moving mountains to do the simplest thing. And Gabriel knows how much that green juice means to him, how much it makes his life better and makes his body better. And how, on God's green earth, he wouldn't do anything not to make that green juice, except something always comes up. Why I don't make the green juice, why I don't clean my flat, why I don't clean myself, why I do all of these things. So, for me, it's weird. I mean, the other week I was talking about I want to make some more spiritual live streams. And then, out of the blue, in my head, popped out an idea to make the fast track to paradise. And it's concrete in my head to what makes sense. No, but it is. It really, really is concrete to what makes sense on a few levels to get good results, and that's what I'm hoping for. And through that, I'm using it as an opportunity to get some confidence as a spiritual guru, and then I can go back to just sharing messages as Gabriel that are spiritual. But for 2 weeks we're going to act like I'm a spiritual guru, like we know it, and it's going to change all the time. So I get 2 baskets of fruit from this. I get one that is the gift of the body, the alignment in life. That is the theory anyway, and I'm the guinea pig. So if it does work, you're going to do it. And if it doesn't work, you're never going to watch this. So what are you doing watching this? It works. It's really weird. Can we do this? I've got this big wave of energy coming over me, and it's just demanding, not silence, but absolute focus of the pressure this energy has. And the pressure it has is similar to silence. And it's really hard to talk. So what about for the next minute there's silence and then we come back? No. No, we're not going to do that, but I've got this massive energy moving through me at the moment. And it's exactly how I described it, and talking isn't good for it. But we've started now, and I've made that space in it, so I'll continue. It's slightly cool. It's moving very slow. It's very big, and it's got a lot of pressure, but it's very, very gentle for its size. It's more soothing than annoying, and it's behind my heart center that I think it's coming in. On my back, I can't tune into my body at the moment. My body's a mess. That's why I'm saying I'm fighting for my life outside. That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's really hard to focus at the moment. The point is, spirituality is really cool, but no one knows that in this world. Not when I made this live stream, not when we're making this live stream. It's something like the 15th, 16th of October 2025. And in this world, spirituality isn't cool. Nuh-uh. AI is cool. iPhones, technology is cool. Cars is cool. You'd say sex is cool in this world. What else is cool in this world? Fashion? These are the things that are cool in this world. With spirituality, it's like another dimension, man. I grew up with the stories of Atlantis. Just imagine flying carpets, teleportation, telecommunication, mind reading, not mind reading, but speaking to somebody with your mind, with your heart, lifting mass boulders with your mind, singing and communicating with the whales, with the birds, with the whole animal kingdoms. Being able to fly, essentially with Neo from the Matrix, there's just no agents. There's no agents. And Neo taught everybody how to do what Neo does. And we all just live in the Matrix now because Zion looks like shit. In truth, we went back, we kicked ass in the Matrix, we took over the Matrix, and we made it paradise again. That was Atlantis. We're heading for Atlantis 2.0. We have to make it cool, innit? 2.0. We can't say 2. We've got to call it 2.0. But I think to myself, the world's a bit like that already. We're trying to replicate Atlantis. People zipping around with their electric scooters. It's like, from the side, that looks like a flying carpet in a way. If you squint, and it's a bit wobbly, that's a flying carpet to me. And all the kids are flying around on flying carpets. What else have we got in Atlantis? What else have we got in Atlantis? What else do we have in Atlantis 2.0? We've got flying carpets. We've got AI. We've got smartphones. And we've got video game consoles. That's the technology. All on the outside, and that's as good as it gets. Alright, you say we've got VR too. We've got virtual reality. Imagine being able to just teleport. I can't wait for the day when I first teleport in this body. Like, in this body. Not just your consciousness and then blah blah blah. I'm talking about like Star Trek, beam me up. That's cool to me. And that's spirituality. That's not science. That's not mathematics. That's not languages. That's spirituality. And I know that. That sounds really cool, innit? That sounds really, really cool. But what it is, they put a label on me that I'm a bit mad and I've got a mental health disorder. And that sort of makes this weird picture where, like, if you don't think that's cool, you don't get the label. If you think that's cool, you get the label. If you think all of that would be cool, you get the label that you're mentally a bit weird. But I really believed it. I really believe it. I know it, basically. But as a teenager, I didn't know it. I believed it. And I'm a passionate person, and I believe stuff a bit too easily and a bit too much. And that's my reason. It wasn't grounded. So be free to believe it. Just don't be stupid about it like this idiot. But in all that I am, I'm coming at the world swinging, and we will all know spirituality exists. And that's coming from my unconscious. Not from my head, not from my mind, not from my master plan. But it is from my master plan, it is from everything I'm doing. I don't know, I just can't imagine not winning. And I've refined and refined and refined what it means to win. And it really looks like what I just said. I'm coming at the world swinging, get ready. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, yeah, Gabriel, you're saying that, but you're just a dumb idiot. What do you mean? What do you mean? That's what I'm thinking in this moment. I know spirituality is real. I know it breaks my reality every day near enough. And yet I don't have the confidence to say I'm going to do something big with it. Yeah. Really intense, this energy. Really intense. I stole the fast track to paradise, the name. I'll go into detail more. I don't think you'll mind who I stole it from. It's kind of his fault. It's kind of in honour to him as well. I'll go into detail. I don't feel that click yet. I want to feel like I've been of service. The love is visible. The love has been all spoken out. It's all been shared. Or at least it's starting to be shared. And I guess I have to keep on talking. That's the rules. The shaking that I'm doing is, I haven't done it on video for years. I used to do it quite a bit. It's very therapeutic if you're suffering from pain and you're conscious of what you're doing. It's just soothing the pain ever so slightly that I'm experiencing. Yeah, my life right now it's in a really weird place. It's better. I mean, I've constantly been working and chipping away, but at the same time, it's just really real as to how bad it is. You know, we go for months and years sometimes before we realize what we're doing. And at the moment it just feels real. As I said, the way I'm looking at the desk is reminding me of emotions from years ago, but they're real, you know, and it's because I'm connected to life more now. That's the purpose of these live streams. I'm not going to take credit that that's happened on the first day, don't worry. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm going through. a certain realness, like life aligning. And if we're awake to those moments of when it aligns, we can see where the real tracks of life are. In other words, we've been running on tracks that say this destination and that destination and the other destination. But it's not until when life aligns that if we're awake to life to that extent, and that's the purpose of the fast track to paradise. And when it aligns, because we're in tune with life, we can feel life. Our body is present in life. It's not just our head. Our body carries weight and substance, and is often the one that takes most decision making for, consideration for within life. That's why it carries so much weight. It's like the weakest link. So the rest of the system has to slow down and all focus on working at the level of the weakest link. And my life's aligning, and I'm getting emotions and perceptions that are real, that feel realer than what I've been experiencing for a while. And where it aligns, it's not necessarily that it's any harder, it's just I'm more conscious of it. So it feels harder in the first instance because my senses are more aligned, they're more real, it's more truthful. It's the body, it's the system functioning as a whole unit more correctly in that alignment. So the feelings are going to be a little bit more painful because they're a little bit more truthful, a little bit more colder. But it's not necessarily that much worse. It's just, it goes to the extent that when we're looking at our life, it comes through that extra little bit of cold, that extra little bit of discomfort, that extra little bit of realness to the situation, and it comes through in our eyes, and we're seeing it from this new way. Like I said, the way I'm looking at the desk. And it's hard to remember that things aren't actually that bad in that moment. It's like our eyes are telling us this is what's going on because it's so real, and it is. And what our eyes are telling us is that new level of pain, that new level of discomfort. That's where you are. That new level of pain, that new level of discomfort. There's a new level of pain, it's gotten worse. There's a new level of discomfort to get used to. That's what the eyes are reading. So everything's a bit down by the eyes. But the reality is, I've been chipping away. The reality is, it looks terrible from the eyes. And the reality is, another week of hard work on my behalf, and it could look like another dimension, like another life. So it's to realise what I'm seeing is real, but to hold true to the hard work, the good work. It wasn't really a click, but I'm going to call that a click. We clicked, because if we don't, I'm going to pass out. So that was the click for me. I don't know what about that was the click, but that was the click. 49 minutes and 46 minutes. 46 minutes. We went back in time for 3 minutes then. So I've got to talk for 15 more minutes now in the click space. That's the rule. So we're going to get an hour and 1 minute. Unless we can turn it around in the next 15 minutes, and I don't feel like I'm going to pass out. So yeah, I've got a lot of... I've had a handful of people I can call teachers on the spiritual level in this life. But I want to sort spirituality. I was seeking spirituality. It would have meant the world to me if I knew I had a spiritual master in front of me. And I had about 3 of them and I couldn't see any of them as spiritual masters. One of them should have been obvious. The other one was half obvious, but I was never allowed to truly acknowledge it. And the other one was a bit hidden, a bit simple. The other one was like a spiritual master, but they were humble. They were humble, and well, they weren't on a stage. They were teachers, and really together they're a master. They come as a pair, and together they're a master. But in this world, it's just not cool, and as a result, they're just humble folk committed to spirituality, 100% committed to a spiritual life. I've seen very few lives that are more beautiful than the life that this pair created. It's beautiful consciousness. It's like a light of this world with sunlight shining through. That's the difference. And simple things, you know. We talked about teleportation and time travel, transmutation, turning ourselves into animals, and lifting up boulders with our minds. But it's the simple things that can create a spiritual life, and that's all that's needed. That's stuff for later. All the cool stuff is after the simple. The simple has to come first. So yeah, I'm coming at the world swinging. I'm coming at the world swinging. And I'm coming swinging spirituality. What balls am I going to hit along the way? It's weird. I remember from primary school, there was one class with a supply teacher. She wasn't a very nice supply teacher. Not very many people liked her. And the role of the class was to write, when Miss Kitson, that was her name, when Miss Kitson isn't looking, I am. And then we had to basically pick something we wanted to do with our life. And I think I picked a baseball player earning a lot of money and a spy. I wanted to be a spy in that class. When Miss Kitson isn't looking, I'm secretly a spy. And I'm secretly a baseball player. Well, I'm a baseball player coming at the world swinging with spirituality. That's what it's turned into. And as for the spy, well, who do I spy for? We'll see if that one morphs into something in the future. Oh, yeah, it's just popped into my head. That's spirituality too. I've been at work for aliens reporting back since about the age of 17. I admitted it to myself in the past 2 years. The level of consciousness that the communication began at and has continued over the years is taken around 22 years for it to slowly seep through in my consciousness enough that that's actually what's going on, and for me to be able to admit to myself, yeah, no, actually my life has been one big reporting back to aliens. It's like they're watching me with me. That's what I've admitted to myself. It's taken 13 years of me to say in the background to myself, yeah, I'm talking to aliens on some level. Yeah. I'm telling them what living on planet Earth is like. They're listening to me. Fast forward 13 years and I'm sitting here looking up at the sky a lot of the time, just having outright conversations, taking the piss, swearing at them. I call them my employers. Apparently I've just got a promotion. I haven't seen an ounce of pay. They said I know what I get paid. I know what I get paid. It's to basically get an eraser and erase the line between consciousness and unconsciousness. And just having the confidence to just be you, to just be us, to just be everyone, to just be connected, to just be within the body. But with the confidence that's needed at least for myself, the way that's been gained is by being honest with my lack of confidence, my vulnerability. But that's just me. It might be different for others. A massive eraser on that line. Find the line, maybe find it from both sides and go at it from both sides and rub it out. And become the spiritual guru or whatever else you've decided to fill the space with. Well, it's like I want to cry. It's really getting me what's going on. I'm working on so many different levels at the moment. I'm working on so many different levels, and I'm making this live stream, and I'm not quite sure what's to share, and everything's to share. Everything's to share, because whatever happens, by the time by the time of the first pitch, is that what it is? And the ball is thrown, and I'm there, ready to knock it out, somewhere to the other side of the universe and beyond. What will happen is my memory will be wiped, just like it is now, because I'm still Gabriel with a mental health disorder, and I dream about performing miracles. I dream about performing miracles because they're all possible, not because they're miracles, not because it's a magic and it doesn't exist. It exists if we just understand how reality is broken in the first place. That's all we have to do. Tap the system, hack reality. Not a computer. Not a computer. In school, all the boys were into computers and video games. I couldn't hack it. I was too scared. I got to Nintendo 64, The Legend of Zelda, and I had to go into the Spider Castle or Spider Kingdom or something. And there were spiders crawling up walls. I get scared really easy. And I'm sitting there playing this by myself, scaring myself. I just ended up getting on the horse and playing the mini games in the local town. And galloping about in the fields. And I sort of realised to myself then, yeah, video games just aren't my thing. But the internet I really like. You can do stuff on the internet compared to video games. Now the internet compared to spirituality is exactly the same thing. You can't do anything on the internet compared to spirituality. The internet is all on a screen. What can we do but make images flash on the screen? Maybe the images flash really good and they mean something and we learn something, or they flash in a way and it means something else. But at the end of the day, it's still a screen. Spirituality is real. Spirituality is the edge of life. Not this screen in the center, and you're feeling it ripple down from the edges to your very core. A little bit more real, no? flying carpet. I'll trade you your Tesla for a flying carpet. How about that? Is that the deal of a century? It doesn't have a screen, my flying carpet, but it can fly. Now think about this. I've just offered you a flying carpet, and you're thinking, yeah, but what about the windows and seat belts? Is it safe? It hasn't got a screen. How do I recharge it? It's a flying carpet, man. If you took less than a millisecond to answer that with an outright yes, congratulations, you understand the meaning of cool to a human being. If you took longer than a millisecond, unfortunately, we are part of the conditioning that cool of this world has put upon us, and we're stuck in the technology age. We're stuck in the technology age. There's places on this planet, islands in the Pacific, I think, where what's sexy is fat. Where what's sexy is fat. The rest of the world says it's this way, but this island says no, it's fat. I have joined up eyebrows. I'll travel around most of the world, and people will look at me and think, now that just isn't sexy. But I went on holiday. I was lucky to have gone on holiday to a part of the world when I was younger, the Dominican Republic. And one of the women there approached me and said, "You have joined up eyebrows. It's sexy here." I was a bit shy, but that's my exact point. That's my exact point. Women, you've left me alone. Life has hidden me under this mental health disorder where I can't look after my hygiene. I smell, I stink, I can't look after myself, and I've been hidden for about 15 years. You have a very small amount of time to make your move before I move permanently to the Dominican Republic. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why haven't I moved to the Dominican Republic? Mamajuana. That's what they drink there. It's basically a load of herbs stuck in a bottle, and then they pour the alcohol on top, and all of the herbs infused in the alcohol, and they all drink it. Well, I say they all drink it, but no, it's the drink of the island. The reason I'm a bit down is because I remember how poor the island is, how the real islanders live, and they all drink it because that's life, a hard life, a simple life. Gotta have backup plans. How long shall I give women? I'm 40. I've just turned 40. I haven't had a single birthday present. I don't think, other than some text messages, a couple text messages, just a couple text messages for my 40th birthday. I'm buried under the life that says that is okay and normal. Women have a hard job. It really looks like I'm moving to the Dominican Republic. What do you reckon the chances are? How long shall I give? I'm speaking to the men now. How long shall I give them? I'm 40. They've left me alone my whole life. I'm currently buried under mess. I'm trying to get myself out for me. I reckon I'll do it. I reckon I'll be out maybe in months. But I've got no interest in them anymore. I'm bored of them to a certain extent. Let me rephrase that. I've decided they don't take the importance anymore. They don't take the importance anymore. In other words, I've got to live my life. And the right time for when I am ready to allow them in, they can come in. Now that's my mindset. But I'm 40. And I really like women. Well, I'm angry at them, but I really like them. And I'm really fickle. I know that about myself, and it wouldn't take a lot to break me. I break really easily. So that's what we're stacking it up against. That's the situation. What do we think's going to happen? The right time. The right time. I'm just not in the mood. They would have to come with a hell of a resume. They would have to come with a hell of a resume. So we're looking, well, we're not looking. I'm saying right time. I'll tell you about the madness. What, 40 years? And it's not 40 years of virgin, it's not 40 years without love, but 40 years without fulfillment, being fulfilled by the experience. Not because of anything, mostly because of me, what I needed to learn, what I needed to go through. As for sex, I went through it. I went through it, you know, the desire. And it's calm, it's cool now. I'm not really bothered by it. Doesn't compare to love. There's more to gain, believe it or not, from the love of a friend than there is from sex. But we don't utilize. What if we were to utilize our relationships to the maximum? Right, you're my friend. You're my friend. In certain parts of the world, it's not safe to say, I love my friend. So, unfortunately, for this live stream, we're going to say, I'm really tired. I'm really, really tired. And we love our friends. Otherwise, what are we doing if we hate them? We love them. It's either on the side of love or hate. Do you hate them more than you love them? Or do we love them more than we hate them? I like to take the mindset that it makes sense to love them a little bit more than we hate them. So we love our friends. And we have to keep it there. We can't do anything with that love in it. Not for a friend. Not for a friend. It's not worth it. Not when I can have sex. How on earth can that be said? You must be mad. It's driven you mad, Gabriel. The 40 years and you've gone insane to it. And I'm going to tell you, this is the spiritual master. Again, putting the gold right in front of you. Saying exactly how life is. The love for a friend is worth more than sex. Helps if they're sexy. Helps if they're sexy, but literally as a friend. That's as far as I've taken it in my exploration. I prefer women as friends. That's the God's honest truth. Well, we can call it now. So we'll close this live stream for today, and I just want, this is what feels right to start closing live streams with, and just making space to say, is there anything more that needs to be brought out, discussed, shared? In these closing moments. There's gold right in front of us. Everywhere. All around the planet, in the most simple of things. And it's right there in front of us, sitting right next to us. We use it every day. We touch it every day, the gold. But because we don't know it's gold, it touches us and it leaves us as if it was nothing. Absolutely nothing. And all it takes what would it take? It would take one mad idiot who's so broken they can see reality for what it is. And do a few things to get into a few people's heads and hearts Let's get into a few people's heads and hearts, because he's so broken. He can see reality. And maybe if you can get inside enough heads and hearts and start, well, the word that was going to come out was singing. We'll say dancing. You start dancing in those heads and hearts, all at the same time, with the same beat, with the same step. Maybe we can all see what's gold. Maybe we can all see what's gold. All of us together, that we're inundated with gold. There's so much gold, it's like it's questionable, is it even gold anymore? There's so much gold. It's got to devalue gold, so surely there's so much of it. I'll have to dance a good dance, won't I? It'll be the best dance, I promise.